You've been told that learning English is all about consistency and practice. But here is the secret most language teachers won't tell you. It doesn't matter how many hours you listen to stories if your brain's hardware is clogged. You can pour the most expensive fuel into a rusty car, and it will still break down. Your problem isn't your desire to learn. It's your brain's outdated memory system. Are you tired of forgetting new English vocabulary right after you hear it? Do you feel like your memory is getting worse with every passing year? If you want to learn English faster than ever before, if you want every story you listen to on this channel to stick permanently, you first have to stop believing the biggest lie in neuroscience, the myth that your brain is fixed after childhood. I'm here to tell you that this is absolute nonsense. Scientists have proven that your brain is an active construction site that can build new memory cells every single day. In this video, we are giving you the 3 simple steps to activate your brain's hidden memory generator. We'll show you exactly how to physically prepare your memory with premium fuel, protect it from cognitive rust, and use the ancient memory trick that will make new English words sticky and unforgettable. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can keep building that brain of yours. Introduction and Part 1, The Secret of Fresh Hardware, Neurogenesis Overview. Picture this. Your memory feels fuzzy, your focus slips, and information just doesn't seem to stick. It's a fear that touches everyone. And the worst part is, for years, we were led to believe that cognitive decline is an inevitable fate. Just like gravity, we got used to thinking, well, I'm getting older. It's normal that my brain is shrinking. But this is the deepest lie you've ever been told about your own brain. The truth is, you don't have to wait for your memory to vanish because your brain isn't an old, fixed machine. It's a dynamic, constantly remodeling system. Today, we're unlocking 3 simple steps that activate your hidden memory generator, the process of creating brand new, young cells. We're not talking about miracle supplements. We're talking about fundamental rewiring of your daily habits. We're giving you the precise blueprint so you can master your focus and protect your memory for life. Stick around until the very end, because we're revealing the single most crucial diet secret that leading neurologists rely on. Before we dive in, hit subscribe right now and keep your mind sharp every single week. Let's look at the secret of the new hard drive, your brain, and how exactly it creates new neural connections. Imagine for decades, neuroscience adhered to the finished building paw. It was believed that after childhood, when the construction crew went home, the number of our neurons was fixed. You could only repair old walls, but never build new rooms. This notion became the most powerful internal barrier. How many times have you told yourself, I'm too old to learn coding, or it's too late for me to pick up Spanish? But look around. This is absolute nonsense, and real-life stories prove it. Take, for example, Masako Wakamiya from Japan. She retired from her bank job at age 60. Later, at the age of 81, she taught herself to code and developed a mobile app, Hinadan, a game specifically for her fellow senior citizens. Her story went viral, and Apple CEO Tim Cook even invited her to speak at the developers conference. Or consider Professor Richard Worth, who retired at 60 and then, in his 70s, decided he wanted to understand modern data science. He mastered Python and machine learning and began consulting companies on complex data analysis. This isn't just a hobby. It's a complete cognitive career shift. And finally, there's Annie Stein, who started learning Chinese, Mandarin, only after age 75, and today she converses fluently while traveling East Asia. Their brain isn't shrinking. It is actively forging new neural pathways right now because they set a complex cognitive goal. Remember, A brain that is challenged never ages. Your true superpower is called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to constantly physically remodel and adapt. Picture your brain not as a frozen piece of clay, but as a fast-flowing river. It's always in motion, always carving new channels. Every new thought, every new experience, even every strong emotion literally redraws your brain's internal map. When you learn a new concept, you create a tiny neural connection, a little dirt road. The more often you use it, the faster that road transforms into a steel-reinforced highway for information transfer. But how do we move from simple repair to physical rejuvenation? That's where neurogenesis comes in. This is literally the birth of brand new neurons. Yes, you, as an adult, are constantly growing fresh cells. This astonishing process occurs mainly in one key area, the hippocampus. The hippocampus isn't just your inbox folder for memories. It's a dynamic center responsible for forming all your new episodic memories, like where you parked your car and spatial navigation. Furthermore, it's critical for emotional stability and your ability to manage stress. The more active the neurogenesis in this area, the better your memory, the higher your emotional resilience, and the lower your risk of depression. Every new cell you grow is a potential protector of your psyche. How do you issue the construct command? Your brain is a savvy investor. It only puts energy into birthing new neurons when you create a conscious demand. It won't build new rooms if you're constantly sitting in the same old one. To kickstart this construction, you need to create a need for new mental maps. Try this today. Spatial load. So how exactly do we make the hippocampus build? Start creating a demand for new mental maps. Instead of blindly trusting your GPS, try walking or driving to a new place while actively memorizing landmarks and turns. When your brain scans the environment to create a new map inside your head, you are directly stimulating neurogenesis. This doesn't mean you have to get lost, but it does mean you have to turn off autopilot. For example, if you commute the same route every day, consciously take a new turn once a week and try to memorize 3 new signs or details on that street. Or, when you're at the grocery store, imagine you are mapping the layout of the products in your mind, not just grabbing what you need off the shelf. Think of the famous London taxi drivers. They have to memorize thousands of streets, and science has proven their hippocampus is physically enlarged. Your brain isn't asking you to become a taxi driver. It's asking you to use its navigation function, not delegate it to your phone. This is a small but powerful way to build fresh hardware every day. Challenge for body and mind. Our routine actions are autopilot and require no effort. To wake things up, try jungling 3 balls, learning a single chord on a guitar, or even brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. These actions demand complex coordination and sensory-motor integration, which forces the brain to lay entirely new multi-layered cables. Language learning, the gold standard. If you truly want to turn your brain into a memory generator, nothing beats learning a new language. Every new word, every grammatical rule requires the hippocampus not just to store, but to create an entirely new system of classification and interaction. This is like building a whole new wing onto your brain's library. The biggest enemy, cortisol. Even the best construction will halt if there are constant obstacles on the site. The biggest impediment to neurogenesis is chronic stress. When you are in a state of constant anxiety, the hormone cortisol acts as a toxic weed in your hippocampus, physically suppressing the birth and survival of new cells. Your weapon, mindfulness. Small but consistent mindfulness practices for just 8 weeks can physically increase gray matter volume and, most critically, reduce the activity of brain areas responsible for stress. You aren't just calming down, you are consciously clearing the toxic obstacles to growth. The growth mindset. Your brain responds to your beliefs. If you think, My abilities are fixed. I can't get better. The brain receives the command, stop, no point in building. Instead, use the growth mindset. My brain is actively creating new connections right now. This mistake is simply feedback necessary for new construction. This switches your brain from the shame circuit to the learning circuit. Step 1. Pour in the premium fuel and hire the nighttime cleaner. Premium fuel. Why movement is not laziness, but a construct command. You already know that creating new neurons requires a conscious challenge. But the brain isn't an isolated organ. It needs a perfect physical environment. And that environment is created by movement. Most people view exercise as a means to lose weight or build muscle. That's true, but for your brain, it's an investment mandate. When we talk about premium fuel for the brain, we're talking about BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Imagine BDNF as golden glue or universal fertilizer for your brain. It does two incredible things. First, it supports existing neurons, keeping them healthy and functional. And second, it stimulates the growth of the brand new neurons we just discussed. Without BDNF, the construction halts. How do you manufacture BDNF? It's simple. Movement. It's scientifically proven that the highest levels of BDNF are produced during aerobic exercise. But you don't need to become a marathon runner. Even a brisk 30-minute walk daily raises BDNF levels. It's not about the number of calories burned. It's about keeping your heart rate within a moderate exertion zone. A tip for lazy beginners. If you hate running, start with movement sprints. Every 30 to 45 minutes of desk work, get up and do 3 minutes of dynamic movement, 20 squats, 1 minute of jumping jacks, if possible, or a fast walk up and down the stairs. Scientists have shown that even these short bursts of physical activity are extremely effective at stimulating blood flow to the brain and boosting BDNF. If you want to double this effect, focus on coordination. Challenges that combine movement and mental effort are the most powerful. Try learning to dance, even the simplest steps, playing table tennis or badminton, or simply walking a straight line on the floor with your eyes closed. Your brain is forced to simultaneously manage complex body movement and spatial orientation, which builds cognitive reserve. Every such movement isn't just a physical workout, it's an intellectual workout for your hippocampus. B. The nighttime cleaner. Why your brain needs a hydraulic flush. Let's say you've been the perfect builder. You challenged your brain, you manufactured the golden glue BDNF, and you forged thousands of new neural connections throughout the day. Great, but what about the waste? Just like any construction site, there's debris left over. In your brain, the debris is protein plaques, specifically beta amyloid. These plaques are toxic to your neurons and are considered by scientists to be one of the key contributors to the development of dementia. When you stay awake, this protein sludge constantly builds up. Luckily, your brain has a built-in cleaning system that scientists call the glymphatic system. Imagine it as a high-pressure, overnight cleaning crew. And here's the crucial point. This system only activates during deep sleep. Research shows that when you are in a deep sleep phase, your brain cells physically shrink by about 60%, opening up the space between them. This space fills with cerebrospinal fluid, which literally flushes out toxic proteins like amyloid from the brain. To support this process, certain nutrients act as cleaning catalysts. Specifically, magnesium helps initiate deep sleep, and B vitamins, especially B6 and B12, support overall nervous system metabolism. Incorporate foods rich in these into your evening routine. Spinach, magnesium. Bananas, magnesium and B6. A small serving of oatmeal, complex carbs for melatonin. Or warm milk, tryptophan and B12 if tolerated. If you consistently skimp on sleep, you are simply refusing the cleaning crew's service. Toxins build up, damaging your freshly created neurons and inhibiting further neurogenesis. Sleep is not a luxury, it's hygiene. How can you guarantee the glymphatic system works efficiently? Consistency is your best tool. Our brains are governed by circadian rhythms. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This consistency sets your internal cleaning system to an optimal schedule. Avoid the sleep thieves. We all love our evening Netflix, but the blue light from screens blocks the production of melatonin, the hormone that signals the brain it's time to sleep. For the hour before bed, switch to a paper book, an audiobook, or just conversation. Temperature matters. The brain cleans best when your body is cool. The ideal sleeping temperature is usually around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Lowering your core body temperature is part of the natural process of initiating deep sleep. Remember, it doesn't matter how many new things you learned or how much you ran. If you don't give your brain time to clean, you are simply building on a landfill. Now, let's move on to step 2, where we unlock the deepest secrets of fueling your brain. Step 2, fueling focus. How to protect your brain from rust. A. The neurologist's secret, the golden antioxidant, and its protection. We've talked about building new cells and cleaning them up overnight. Now, let's protect this newly built network from its biggest enemy, oxidative stress, or simply put, rust. Imagine your brain is a supercomputer running 24/7. Its constant activity generates free radicals, toxic molecules that attack cells, damage DNA, and cause inflammation. This is the rust. If you want to shield your brain, you need the golden antioxidant, and it doesn't come in a brightly colored bottle of miracle supplements. Leading neurologists and researchers globally point to the single most crucial dietary habit: consistent consumption of polyphenol-rich foods. Polyphenols are potent micronutrients found in plants. They act as personal security guards for your neurons. They neutralize free radicals and, most importantly, reduce chronic inflammation in the brain. Remember BDNF, the fertilizer? Inflammation is the drought that prevents the fertilizer from working. Polyphenols create the ideal climate for new neuron growth. Where to find them? Focus on 3 superstars: berries, especially blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. They contain anthocyanins, which are proven to enhance communication between neurons and boost your brain's flexibility. Nuts, walnuts, and almonds. These are not only a great source of omega-3s, but also a powerhouse of polyphenols. Cocoa, dark chocolate. Look for chocolate that is 70% cacao or higher. Cocoa contains flavonols, known to improve blood flow to the brain, making it more flexible and boosting focus capacity. Remember this formula: green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, plus nuts, plus berries every single day. This is the foundation of the MIND diet, a hybrid of the Mediterranean and DASH diets. Studies have shown that people adhering to this diet have a 53% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. This isn't magic, it's consistent nourishment and protection. B. The memory enemy, glucose and neuronal spiking. The next step to fueling focus is controlling glucose. We often call glucose fuel, but it's more like a voltage regulator for the brain. When you consume high amounts of processed carbs and sugar, there's a sharp spike in blood glucose, which leads to 2 problems. The energy roller coaster. The sharp spike causes an effect of hyperstimulation, followed by a crash in energy and focus. The brain hates sharp swings. It needs stability. Neuronal toxicity. Chronically high glucose levels induce insulin resistance. Your brain, especially the hippocampus, relies heavily on insulin to uptake energy. When cells become resistant, they literally starve and begin to malfunction. This is why some scientists refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. How to stabilize energy delivery? switch to whole, complex carbohydrates. But the golden rule is always to pair carbs with fiber and protein. Fiber acts as a buffer, slowing down the glucose rush and providing your brain with a smooth, long-lasting energy supply. Instead of white toast for breakfast, pure, fast sugar, have a bowl of oatmeal, complex carb, with a handful of walnuts, protein and fiber, and blueberries, antioxidants. For lunch, choose brown rice or quinoa instead of white bread, pairing them with legumes, beans, lentils, which are an ideal source of fiber and slow-releasing carbs. This ensures stable energy levels, which is perfect for focus and mental endurance. The importance of water and salts. Your brain is 75% water. Even slight dehydration, a 2% fluid loss, can lead to reduced cognitive function, impaired memory, and difficulty concentrating. Always keep a glass of plain water nearby. Remember, the signals your neurons transmit are electrical, and this electricity requires electrolytes, salts, that you lose, especially during exercise. C. Protecting the wires. Fats for speed. Finally, to ensure maximum information processing speed, we must protect the neuronal cables. Every neural pathway is coated in a protective sheath, similar to insulation on an electric wire, called myelin. The thicker the myelin, the faster the signal transmits. The myelin sheath is primarily composed of fat, but not just any fat. You need omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. DHA is a building block for neuron membranes and myelin. It boosts neuroplasticity and is essential for forming new memories. DHA sources. The best are cold water fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, and sardines. If you don't eat fish, you should consider high-quality fish oil supplements or algae oil. Studies clearly show those with the highest omega-3 levels in their blood have better cognitive performance. Bonus fat, extra virgin olive oil, EVOO. This oil is rich in polyphenols and monounsaturated fats that help protect the brain. It's central to the Mediterranean diet and has been linked to a reduced risk of cognitive decline. Use it daily as your primary fat for salad dressings and cooking. So we've given the brain challenge, learning, movement, BDNF, and protection, polyphenols and fats. Now we move to step 3, how to instantly sharpen your focus and memorize more in less time. Step 3, instant tuning, focus and memory techniques. A. Boosting focus, the Pomodoro technique for the brain. You've given your brain the right fuel and movement. Now, let's teach it how to focus. The problem isn't that you can't concentrate. The problem is that you don't train your capacity for sustained attention. Imagine attention is a muscle that quickly fatigues from excessive task switching. Use the Pomodoro technique, but adapt it for brain training. Instead of working for 25 minutes, start with 15. Set a timer and focus on one task. When the timer goes off, take a short 5-minute break and do something physical, squats, stretching. This process achieves 2 crucial things. First, it trains your brain to ignore distractions for a specific, manageable time frame. This strengthens your prefrontal cortex, the center of executive function. Second, it uses movement, BDNF, as a state switcher. The brief physical activity in the break clears your memory buffer, recharges your focus, and prepares your brain for the next session. Focused breathing. When you feel your attention slipping, don't force yourself to try harder. Instead, use your breath as an anchor. Take a deep inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, then slowly exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. This simple act activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your internal anxiety off switch. It instantly lowers cortisol and brings your prefrontal cortex back online. B. Memory encoding. Make it sticky. Now, let's move to memorization. Most people's problem is they rely on dumb rote repetition. But this is like trying to hammer a nail with your finger. It's ineffective. Your brain requires active engagement to encode new information, making it sticky for the hippocampus. The method of loci, memory palace. This is arguably the most powerful memorization technique, used since the ancient Greeks. It leverages the very hippocampus we've been discussing. To remember a list like the 10 steps to a healthier brain, imagine a familiar location, your house or your commute route. Now, visualize each piece of information at a specific spot along that route, creating absurd, vivid, emotionally charged images. For example, for step 1, movement BDNF, you could imagine Tim Cook, from our earlier example, sprinting right through your front door with golden glue, BDNF. For step 2, sleep, cleaning, you might visualize a tiny cleaning crew on your kitchen table, washing away amyloid plaques. The more absurd the image, the more strongly your hippocampus is activated to encode the new spatial memory. This connects new information with your powerful spatial memories. Active retrieval practice. Instead of rereading your notes, actively pull out the information. After watching this video, close your eyes and try to recall the 3 steps and the key nutrients. This self-testing process is far more effective than passive reading. Each successful retrieval strengthens the neural pathway. C. Leveraging the brain's natural cycles. Your brain operates in cycles. The most important cycle for learning is the ultradian rhythm. Our brain can effectively sustain peak focus for only 90 to 120 minutes, after which it needs a genuine rest. The 90-20 rule: work or study intensely for 90 minutes, and then mandatorily take a 20-minute break. During this break, completely shift your attention, step outside, look at trees, or listen to music. During this time, your brain is consolidating what you just learned. If you skip this break, efficiency plummets, and you simply burn through your cognitive reserves. The power of novelty. We saw this with the senior programmer examples. Novelty is the single strongest activator of BDNF and neurogenesis. Don't let your brain get bored. Do one small new thing every day. Try a new word, listen to a new genre of music, or take a different route home. Even these tiny bursts of novelty keep your brain in active construction mode. So we've given you the complete blueprint. We dispelled the old brain myth, activated neurogenesis. Step 1, movement and sleep, protected it from rust. Step 2, fuel and fats, and given you instant tools to boost focus. Step 3. Remember, your brain isn't declining, it's waiting for your investment. If this video gave you new hope and a new tool, like it, share it with someone you think is too old to learn, and subscribe to the channel. We are here to keep your brain sharp until you're 100. See you next week.